Hi guys, welcome back. In this tutorial, I try to show very basics of Illustrator, how to use Illustrator, what kind of shortcuts you can use so that beginners who are watching my channel, who always complain I don't do tutorials, so I don't show the process step by step. Hopefully, this tutorial will show or you can understand what I mostly do in my speed art videos or other tutorial videos. So this will be a very basic level Illustrator tutorial. If you are new to Illustrator, or maybe you just started, or you want to learn some small short codes and stuff like that, you can watch this tutorial. What I will do, guys, first I will go through with all these tools, and first I will show you basically what we can do with these tools first, and then later I will create another tutorial and maybe focus on most important tools and do separate tutorial for each of them and go further advanced things which we can do with these tools. So let's see all the tools first. We see the basic tools what we can do with them, and basically it's just going to be an introduction to you guys what kind of things we can achieve from these basic tools. Yeah, okay. If you already know how to use Illustrator or even Photoshop, I think you can skip this part, skip this tutorial. So let's get started with the basics. Um, So as you guys can see, this is Illustrator CC. I'm using the latest 2009 update here. The update was done in March. So let's start with the basics. As all of you can probably already know, this is the artboard. You can create artboard by going in new art and select the e-define sizes, so you can also customize your size based on pixels or inches, millimeters, depend on the artwork size you want. Also you can see there is color modes which you can choose RGB most of the time for screen designs, and CMYK which most of the time for designs which you needed to print. So you can choose color modes based on here when you go to advanced mode. And the bleeding is when you design some print documents, you need to give bleeding so that things won't be missed out, and you need to keep the bleeding. You should avoid putting text and stuff like that in the bleeding. All those basic stuff you should consider before you create the hardboard. So you can create after the setting, you can create the artboards. You can choose whether you want one artboard or two artboards or three artboards. So based on your selection, you can create multiple artboards here. Okay. Right. So next step is, after you create the artboard, you can start using all the tools. So here on your typically you will see, you won't see these screens. I have customized for my preference. You can choose what kind of layout design, what kind of things you want to view from here, and this is the way I like to use, because I most of the time use Pathfinder tool and align tool and transform, all those things, and the properties, all those things I will be using. So I normally keep my screen like this. There is no correct way or wrong way. It's up to you. It's your personal preference. Okay. So let's go a little bit more into the tools here. Uh, you have the selection tool. You can select objects with the selection tool, and move all the basic stuff which you can do in Photoshop or every other applications. And this is the direct selection tool. I think the same tool is available in Photoshop also. You can select these vertex points or anchor points with this selection tool, direct selection tool. You can go back to normal selection tool by pressing the V. or if you click A shortcut, you can select the anchor points points from here, and you can move or adjust the Bezier, adjust the corners, all those things using the anchor selection tool. And the next tool will be the pen tool. Pen tool is one of the most important tool in Illustrator. If you are a graphic designer, you will be using this tool. There is no other way around it. But this tool may be confusing at first if you are new to Illustrator, especially. But after you start doing after you start drawing stuff using this pen tool, after you understand how this thing works, it's very easy, and you can create any shape, any organic or inorganic shape using this pen tool. This is one of the most favorite tool for most of the designers, and if you are a graphic designer, high chances you will be using this tool like 80% of your artwork most of the time. So this pen tool, I will go overall what we can do and what are the basics first in this tutorial. I will create a separate tutorial just for this pen tool and create some advanced stuff how to use this pen tool and create some complex drawings, right? So let's start with the basic shape. Let's say if you want to draw a rectangle. Just click on the artboard. It will create the first anchor point. Then just you can draw the rectangle by just clicking on like this. Let's say if you want to draw a perfect rectangle, just click on it, hold on the shift key, which will create straight lines or 45-degree angle lines. So straight line, and click on it, and while you're holding the shift key, it will go straight to, it will create the straight line. Click on it, uh, and same here, click on it, and you will draw the perfect rectangle. Same, if you want to create if you want to create curve edges, you just need to click and hold and drag will create the smooth corners like this, and you can adjust the corner by bringing the lines bigger or smaller. So once you leave it, the line will be created, and you can continue the same thing again, and you can close it also with corners like this. And once you create these basic corners, you can adjust using direct selection tool, and bring them smaller or bigger or whatever the shape you wanted. Also, in these kind of situations, you can make them either corners or full Bezier corners by going to the properties here and click on corners to convert to corners, or bring them as smooth Bezier corners by clicking this key here, and also you can adjust again. So with these small techniques, you can draw anything you want, and it may look bit difficult at first, but this is one of the perfect tool you can find in Adobe Illustrator. Most of the time you guys will be using this tool to create artworks and a lot of things related to these kind of curves or whatever the shape you wanted to draw. You can draw using this tool. So because it's so flexible, when you can adjust back and forth anytime you want, or you can do whatever the shape you want with this tool. Okay, so I will be creating another tutorial on dedicated for this pen tool, uh, and you guys can see how to create complex shapes using this pen tool. With new versions of Illustrator, they have different pa- uh, path tool, which is useful if you want to draw smooth lines uh, like this, which is curvature tool, and it can be useful in certain cases. And the other thing is basic shape. We have rectangle tool, ellipse, polygon, star, all those basic shapes tools. But one more technique I want to show you guys. So when you draw these things, you can either you draw like this, or when you click on this. So let's say if you select 9, it will be 9. All same for the star or polygon, or star or polygon both. And there is another easy shortcut here. When you draw this tool, drag and hold and click the arrow keys up to increase the sides, or down to decrease the size sides. So this, if you don't know this technique, maybe it's useful for some of you. If you want to increase, just press the arrow key up. If you want to decrease, press the arrow key down. Same for polygon tool also. Drag and drop, mine decrease and increase. So it will decrease. You can decrease until 3, and you can increase until should be unlimited, but it will be soon become a circle. It's already became a circle. So, all right, guys. So now we know how to create these basic shapes, right? So okay. So what's next? What's the point of having basic shape? Are we only going to use ellipses and stars in our designs? What if we want to have like different kind of shapes? As I showed you earlier, you can create any kind of shape and adjust those shapes and change it to different kind of shapes, whatever shape you want. So one of the other important tool set in Illustrator is this Pathfinder tool. What we can do with Pathfinder tool is combining shapes, multiple shapes into one shape, or dividing using shape and create a new shape, and all those things you can do using Pathfinder tool. For an example, let's say you want to draw a house, just a basic house icon or something like that. So you draw the base, and then using the polygon tool, you draw, like bring it down to 3, and you draw a house icon. You can hold down the shift key, so it will be, you can draw without going here and there. It will stick to the the bottom line, will stick correct the way we want it. And you can bring it on top of this, and we can center align them, and maybe bring it down, and maybe they have a dome. Sorry, we have a draw, and we can make different color for the draw or window. So the house shape is there, but this is not. These are using like one, two, three, four different shapes. If you want to bring all these things into one shape, or uh, wh- where you want to separate these things as an icon or something like that, this is the tool you will be using. So what now we have to do for this house is we need to combine these two together. So select both of them, go to Pathfinder. If you cannot find Pathfinder, go to Windows and search for Pathfinder, and click on it to show it on the screen. So to combine both of them, just go to the shape mode and unite. So now both of them will be one will be one shape. So you can move, do whatever you want, and change shape or whatever you wanted to do. Also, if you want to minus off these things, you wanted to cut these things on top of this shape, all you need to do is select them and click the minus font. The whatever in the front will be minus off from the base shape. In some cases, you may have to draw some simple looking shapes, but they may very difficult to draw using the pen tool. For an example, you want to draw a perfect shape like this. So it may look very like, oh, you need to draw, then after that you need to adjust with using the edges and stuff like that. But still it doesn't look perfect. So in order to do this kind of shape, all you need to do is make a big circle. And to copy, while I'm doing this tutorial, I will also show you guys the basic shortcuts, helpful shortcuts which will speed up the process of your overall process of your artwork, and it will save a lot of time. And then it will be useful for you guys in the future as well. So in order to copy the shape, you can go to edit and copy, or the easier way is click on it, press the alt key and drag. It will do the exact same copy here, which is very useful in a lot of scenarios. Okay, so we already copied the shape. We want exactly like this. Select both of them and just click on insert. So just click on it, it will create this shape. So this is just a basic example, guys, so you guys can create a lot of things with using this shape. So with so far with our experience, I have show you how to copy in circle and how to do this kind of shapes. You can do more things using Pathfinder. These all are practically doing the same thing with outlines and trimming and merging when you are using multiple shapes, all those things. Later on, while we were doing project, I will show you guys on how to do what are these. These are basically same, but it may be useful in different situation. All right. Okay, so this shape we save it here somewhere. So we save it here somewhere, we put it here. Later, after I finish, maybe until the rotation bar here, I will show you from this shape what we can do. Leave it here. Later we come back to this. Okay, let's continue with the paint tool. Okay, so let's move on to paintbrush tool, which is same as the Photoshop paintbrush tool, but here you will draw in vector. You can double click the tool and control the brush smoothness. So if you increase the smoothness, it will automatically smooth your line. So if you want to draw like this, it will smooth your line. If you bring down to accuracy, then the path will be accurate to the path you are drawing. So it's all depend on what kind of artwork you are doing and your personal preference. Same as the paintbrush tool, we have the pencil tool, which basically doing the same thing, but this one will link. But when you draw things, you may need both tools based on the drawing you wanted. And when we have the text, you can type tool, which you can use to typography. Just clicking one time will create words like you can create words like this, and by drag and drop it will create paragraphs, and you can control all these settings from the character or paragraph tools here. If you don't see this tool, you can go to Windows, click on type, and select which one you wanted to see from here. And you can increase the size of the character from here, or if you want to change the font, you can change from the font selection here. Also, when you select these things, you can control them by the properties here. Here also you can do the same thing, and size differences, alignments, all those basic things which you can do in any word processing software. Okay, so let's move on to The rotation tool, okay, the rotation tool is basically useful for rotating objects, and you can rotate objects by selecting the edges, or even double click on the rotation icon, rotate icon, and from here you can the degrees you want to rotate. Also you can preview and see here how much you can how the artwork is looking like. You can also copy instead of okay, so it will copy a new object as well. And there are some other things you can do with rotation. For an example, let's say you have a circle and you want to rotate or copy these lines in a circle. How do you do it? So it's very easy actually. You just select both of them and bring them to center, both of them. So if you want to find the center of this path, just Control R will bring the rulers, and just press on the rulers and bring those guidelines and mark the center. So this will be the center. So what we now need to do is select this small object, select the rotation key, and go to the center of this bar. It will automatically snap, and click the Alt key and press on this. Then it will bring up the rotate pop-up window. So from here you can choose, let's say how many you want. You can define by how many degrees. So if you don't want to do the max, Illustrator will do the max for you. So let's say you want to have 20 copies of this circle rotating around. So you just need to do is put 360 divided by 20, and instead of okay, just say copy. Then it will copy the new rectangle based on this point, and with 20-degree gap. So to in order to continue in order to do the same thing again what you have done, all you need to do is go to object, transform, and transform again. Click on it, it will copy again. So the shortcut for transform again, it will be Control D. So you can just do Control D and press. It will copy all those copies you needed. So this is very easy, right guys? So this is how you make like equal space lines placed in a circle. It can be useful, let's say if you're drawing a clock, or if you're drawing something similar to those kind of artworks. So that's how you will do all those things. And okay guys, so now we know how to rotate along a circle with nicely. So let's go back to our reserved shape, which we have created using the path Pathfinder tool. Bring it a bit smaller. Okay. So now let's make some shapes, make some nice design out of it. Maybe. Yeah. Go back to the rotate tool and click the center here with the Alt key. Let's say we want to have 20 degrees, and copy. Or we have copied. And to continue this, all we need to do is Control D, just click the shape. Oh yeah, so we have already done a shape using this tool. Okay, so now we have created this tool, but let's see if we want to divide these sections. We can go back to Pathfinder tool and click on divide, which will divide all the sections into individual pieces. As you can see, all of them are divided as individual shapes. Go to direct selection tool and select the ones, select the pedal looking thing inside. Okay, we have selected all of them, and we can bring down the color. Yeah, looks good. With how did we create this shape? We use two circles, divide them using insert tool in Pathfinder, and copy them, and we had we had created a nice looking shape. For now, we leave this shape somewhere here. We will come back to this shape later. Okay. Alright guys, let's continue with our tools. In the rotation tool, we also have other set of tools. Uh, s- so let's go with the reflect and shear tool, what they can do there. Let's draw a shape, any shape. Okay. Use the reflection tool to mirror objects, or copy and mirror object, or take vertically or horizontally. It's very simple, guys. When you go here, you can choose whether it vertical or horizontal, and you can also put an angle to it or reflect with an angle. So basically, if you want to mirror as a vertical, you just select the vertical reflection, and if you want a separate copy, just click on the copy, and it will create the copy for you. Same as the vertical mirror, you can choose the horizontal mirror to make it horizontal copy. It's very easy, guys. It's very simple, right? And then we have shear tool, which basically making the shape like this. This can be useful in certain scenarios. So you can double click and adjust the angle from here. Here also you can choose horizontal shearing or vertical shearing. Also you can give an angle. So for example, you have an object here, rectangle object here, and if you want to put a shadow for this rectangle, you can use it very simply. Just click and drag a copy and change the color to black, and just make the shear, click on the shear tool and bring it like this. And all we need to do is select both of them and align nicely here, and bring this one to the front a little bit more wider here. So these kind of shapes you can use shear tool. And let's go back to a practical scenario. Let's bring back our flower shape here. Make a copy by click and drag with Alt key, and this one we keep here for later use. And let's click on the shear tool and bring it like this. And also, if you want a copy out of this one but in a reflected manner, just go back to reflection tool, double click, and maybe we give an angle this time, maybe 45 degrees, 45 degrees, and copy. So we have the same flower with uh, different angles. Okay, and let's say these things we want to make them smaller. We can make them smaller by clicking on the selection tool and go to edges, and while holding the shift key we can make it smaller or bigger with proportion, or just we can make without proportion if you let go the shift key. All right, but if we want to do this but in a proper rescaling method, maybe 100% bigger or 50% smaller, we can do it easily by going to scale tool, or you can press S key to bring back the scale tool and double click on it, and here you can select whether it's uniform or non-uniform, how much you want to change. And when you select 50%, all the sides will be adjusted to 50%, same as if you want to select bigger, you just need to select 200%. Okay, so we make it smaller again, just click shift and alt and bring it smaller. Shift like this is fine. So yeah, so we keep it here and go continue with our tutorial. We come back to that later. Okay, next one is cut and eraser tools. These both are doing kind of same thing, but we see the difference. Why do we need to have two different tools there? So let's have two shapes. Alt and eraser tool is basically erasing the object and creating two objects out of it. So for an example, if we want to divide this into two, we just need to go to eraser tool and just drag, and it will divide this shape into two different shapes with the path closed. But the cut tool is a little bit different. It's also dividing the shape, but it will not delete any portion of the object. For an example, if you want to cut this into half, you just need to go to scissors tool and click here. It's already divided, and click here. Now we have two objects, but the difference between both of them are eraser tool will create closed object, but the cut tool will not create both objects. Just cut the spline, cut the line into two. So this cut tool will be useful when you use path tool, and if you want to divide the path into two, you can use the cut tool and divide the path without changing the path or without erasing any portion of the path. So let's say you have half circle like this, and you want to divide this circle in the center and keep these two as two separate object. So cut tool will be very easy in this kind of scenario. Just click on it on the spine, it will divide the shape into two, but it will not change the shape. You can keep the shape exactly like that and use it for your artwork. So okay, let's continue with shape builder tool also. Shape builder tool is exactly like the Pathfinder tool, but this one you can do some things very fast. For example, you have multiple objects, and if you want to divide all of them, you can do it using Pathfinder tool or shape builder tool. You just need to go to shape builder tool, click on this one, and just click on top of these shapes. Now all of these shapes are divided into individual shapes. The same way, if you want to combine these shapes together, so very easy. Just click on the shape builder tool and just click and drag until here. Very easy, right? So what difference between Pathfinder tools and this one? Okay, we have this shape here, and we only want certain portion of these shapes but not the others. You can do the exact same thing using Pathfinder tool, but you may need to do multiple times to achieve those shapes. But using the shape builder tool, it's very easy. Let's say we only want these overlapping positions of each circle, and we just need to draw on each of them. Let's say we don't want this center part, but we can continue like this. Let's see, the shape is done. Now the shape has been created. So certain scenarios, this shape builder tool is more faster and easier to use than Pathfinder tool. Okay, so so far we have covered the selection tool, direct selection tool, pen tool, and the arc pen tool, what they call it, curvature tool, and basic shapes and paint and pencil, and basic rotation and scale and reflection tool, and eraser and scissor tool, and Pathfinder tool. All of these tools are basically used to create objects, create basic shapes. Now, the balance tools which we see here are like the gradient tool, or the all these tools are to modify the object shapes. So let's dive in further. Another one important tools available in Illustrator is gradient tool. Same as Photoshop, this is very useful to adjust lightings or different shades of color. So if you want to create gradient, this is the easiest and fastest way to create. So let's draw a rectangle tool and apply gradient. Some of you guys, if you are especially new to Adobe Illustrator, when you draw an object and click on gradient tool and try to drag, you may see that gradient is not applying directly to the object. This is because the fill has been selected here. So in order to change the fill to gradient, there are two ways. The easiest way may be surprise to some of you guys. Instead of drag, just click on it. Yeah, it will create the gradient for us. Or you can just simply select gradient while the fill was selected here, and just click on the gradient. Will do the same thing. Okay, so once we apply the gradient, you can change different type of gradients from the gradient window here. If you cannot find the gradient window here, you can go to Windows and click view gradient here. Okay, so same as the Photoshop, you can change colors from here. By default, it's always take the black and white. From here you can change to RGB and change colors here, or if you have color swatches in your Adobe Illustrator, you can just drag and drop those swatches here, or you can also drag colors from here to here as well. Okay, so this one is okay. So we can apply different type of gradients like linear or radial gradient from here, and you can go to edit gradient to change these settings from here. And you can also change the basic shape of the gradient by changing the outline here. Okay, so these two gradient we are all familiar, and there is one more type of gradient which is really useful, which is this one, freeform gradient. And this is one of the coolest gradient in Adobe Illustrator. Most of us don't use it much, but this is like the best gradient ever. So you can choose this part and go to edit. You can select one point and select any of these points and change the colors to whatever color you want, and you can apply very nice gradients without any limitations using this tool. Also, we can create new points and apply colors to those points as well. This is very useful to create very colorful surfaces or backgrounds and stuff like that. Also, there is one more option here. Instead of points, you can also draw lines with different colors. When you draw lines, when you click on it, there will be a line attached to the next one. You can draw as much as you can, and then you select the points and go to individual points and change the color to the color you want, which will apply very nice looking mixture of color, whatever color you want to create. So this is one of the new type of gradient available in Illustrator. If you are new to this one, check it out, guys. It's very cool and you can create very nice effect. And best of all, these gradients are in vector format, so you can make it any size you want. Illustrator will calculate for us. So last time when they did not have this gradient, so instead of, if you want to create something like this, there is this mesh tool which is basically doing the same or kind of same thing. The mesh gradient is simple. You can apply to any surface. You should have a base color. Then you can go to gradient and click on the mesh tool and click wherever you want to apply the gradient. And while the selection is there, you can change the color to lighter or darker based on your preference. So this can be useful to create realistic objects or multicolored objects, blend with lighting, so object with different shades which reflect which was affected by lighting or stuff like that. You can use this, but I personally don't use this mesh tool much, because this tool is not expandable as the other gradient. So for example, if you use mesh tools, you won't be able to export these things to some of the softwares which you may needed to do any production things. Or also, let's say if you want to sell stock pictures, vector sheet pictures to Shutterstock or all, if you use mesh tool, it's very difficult for you to export it to the way the Shutterstock or the other application wanted. So when you use this mesh tool, be careful. I don't have anything against the mesh tool, but just be careful, because a lot of applications won't support the mesh tool, because it's one of the oldest tool available in Illustrator, I think. All right, guys. So let's delete these two. Next one is eyedropper tool. This is basically to select the color. Say you have different colors here, and if you want to select those colors into the selection, you just need to select this eyedropper tool and click on those colors. It will apply to the selected object and the fill color here. So this is useful where, especially let's say when you have like images or something, where do I find images? So yeah, say it is when we have an image here, we can easily grab the color of the background by, so you want to apply this background color to this object. Just select this object, go to eyedropper tool, and select the background color or whatever color you wanted to take. So same as the Photoshop eyedropper tool. This one will select from the screen, no matter whether it's a vector object or raster object, doesn't matter. You can select this color and you can apply it to the selected object. So it's very simple tool, very useful in certain scenarios. All right, so next is the width selection. Width tool which is you can change the width of a spline line based on points. So I will show you what I mean by that. So let's say you have a spline lines, and let's put a darker color. Yeah. So we have this line, and with this width tool we can adjust the line thicker or thinner from a point like this. We can make it thicker like leaves or thinner like this, and you can apply more than one point to it, and this will be useful for a lot of scenarios. So this tool is very cool tool also, you can use it. So I think we have keeping the flower for a long time, so let's use something from this one here. So we have these two tools, but with this one let's mirror it. We want to mirror vertically, okay, and let's have some lines. Okay, and also like this. Okay, select both of them and give a nice green line, maybe a little bit more thicker. Yeah, okay. And this one we just give it like that. And we can change the shape using the Bezier here and bring it here. Now we go back to this one of this line, and using the line thicker tool we can make nice little lines like this. Same for this one, and here it will be like this, and maybe this one need to be a little bit more wider, so it will look bit, and this one will be more wider. Okay, and select both of these flowers and right click and arrange, bring it front and move it to here, move it to here. Yeah, I think, yeah, so a nice flower, and we can use the shear tool here. Shear tool, double click, and instead of horizontal we can change the vertical position of this one, and angle maybe yeah, somewhere around is good. Okay, and this one also we use the shear tool and bring it little more. Yeah, this look fine. Okay guys, so this is one of the practical application what we can do, and we go back to this tool and bring them like this. Yeah, so, and we use the scale tool here and bring it maybe 125%. Okay, so this look good. Also we draw a line here and make as a line instead of fill. Bring it smaller, maybe like 5, and Use the shear tool, use the width tool to make some leaves, and you can bring it smaller, and this can go back, and use the rotate tool and click on this point with Alt and maybe 65, or we can just drag and drop here and see, maybe here like this. Yeah, this, I think this one looks fine, and copy, and we do the same. Sorry, we click the center point, bring the center point to here, press with Alt key, and this look fine, and copy. Yeah, we have leaves, we have one. Let's bring it here and reflect. Okay, and bring it a little bit more smaller, and bring it here. Yeah, looks good. Yep, and I think this looks good. Great. Maybe we rotate a bit here. You won't see one leaves. Most of the time there will be one or two leaves together. Okay, right. So this look good. Okay, so we have done the leaves. Now we select these colors. So you can go and select these colors one by one, like what holding the shift key, and select everything one by one here. And let's apply a gradient, and let's make it radial, and go to the gradient button here and click from the center. So this green we apply like nice pink or pink color here. Instead of green we apply this dark red color here, and then same for this one. We go to direct selection tool, select 1 2 3 one by one here. So you guys, when I try to do this, you guys will be thinking, wow, is there any other tool that we can select easily these things? Yes, we have. This is in the basic view. We have lot more tools here. So in order to access these tools, you need to go here in the toolbar. Here, when you click on this one, you see the toolbar, and in the settings of the toolbar, you can either go to advanced, or you can manage the toolbar and select which option, which tools you want to see. It's all personal preference, so let's go with the advanced option, which will bring all the tools here. So let's say in this scenario, we want to select all these petals. So since these petals are in the same color, what we need to do is, when you open this thing, there is one more tool appearing here, magic wand tool, right? So when you select this one, it will copy it will select all the object, all the shapes which are by color base. So if you select this one, it will select all the object in green color. So we don't need to select this part, right? So what we need to do is click here. Since this is one object, grouped object, double click on this one, then again go back to magic wand tool and select magic wand tool and click on it. Then it will only select this, because we are inside this group, right? It's very easy. Then we go back to gradient, and apply gradient. Again, we bring back from center, and this time we will give you another yellowish color also. Looks great. Yep. And select this one, and we are done. So now we already have created nice looking flower. Go, if you want to select all this again, just click magic wand tool and click this one, and you can adjust the gradient accordingly. Yeah. Okay. So this look cool. So okay guys, so when we select this advanced tool, you will see a lot more tools than earlier, but I won't go with all the tools here because now I see this is already 40 minutes. So I think we divide into two different tutorials for this basic tool tutorial into two parts, and I will show you all the basic parts first. In the next tutorial, maybe I will continue with the other balance advanced tools which you see in the advanced tool. All right. Okay. So now we go back to the basic tool sets here. Okay. Okay. So now we keep our flower here for a while and go back to the next tool, which is the blend tool. You can use this tool for multiple different purposes. One of the obvious purpose will be blending. Let's have a fill color first. Blending objects in between, and if let's say if you want to create multiple copies of one object, you can easily do that by selecting both of them and press both of them. It will create a blend in between. By double clicking the tool, you can select what type of spacing you want. You can go with smooth color or specific steps. In this case it's 24. That's why you are not even seeing the line space in between. So we can make maybe like 10 and make the preview. So make instances of this object. And also if you want to have a specific distance, you can define by distance here. What is the space between, let's say, 105. To blend colors, you can have steps or any other option, and just by changing the color will nicely bend these things into nicely bend both of these colors. And you can also use these techniques to, let's say if you have light in one side and the dark shadows in the other side, you can use this blend tool and use those colors in your artwork for your advantage. Also this blend tool, when you change shapes, it will also put steps in between for each of them based on how many shapes you have in between. And the other option is this blend tool. This line also you can change with this path tool, and you can change this shape into any shape you want. You can even make curves of these blend objects. So with using all these things, you can create a lot of there's no limitation for this tool. You can create a lot of objects using blend tool. We will be using blend tool for many occasions, many places, wherever we have to use same repeating objects, or objects with smoothly changing shape, or even color changes. You can use this tool to create a lot of nice looking artworks. With this blend tool, you can create nice backgrounds, For an example, there are so many tutorials in YouTube I have seen created using this technique. Basically, they all goes with the same flow. Basically, you need to have an object background color and draw a smooth line with with a with a slightly contrast color, and also draw one more line with different shape here. And you don't need to have a gradient, and make the line in a different color, make the line different color, and select both of object, and you can blend both of them together, and you can create nice looking shapes with using this technique. And I think this line has a fill, that's why it's not showing properly. Yeah, so with this technique you can create nice backgrounds, complex looking backgrounds, which is very easy to create by using blend color. You can also add more anchor points and make those anchor point wavy, or whatever. You can do whatever you want. So you can create nice looking abstract artworks, wave looking artworks, all those things using this blend tool. There are many tutorials in YouTube. They use the same technique to create these kind of backgrounds. So just one of the basic things you can learn from the blend tool. Okay, so after the blend tool we have two more tools here. We will go very fast. So these two tools are for us to create like new artboards or move artboards from one place to another. This artboard tool is for if you want to have multiple artboard, you can use the artboard tool. You can just double click on this and bring down the artboard settings, and you can change the settings. Or if you want to have different size or different height, you can change here. And you can also delete artboard by selecting the artboard with the artboard selection and delete this. So basically you can do create or delete artwork. So this is basically like creating new pages for your print design or PDF file, right? So same with the hand key, and there is one more here is zoom key is just zooming in and out. You can also do by control plus will zoom in, and control minus will zoom out, and you can also control 0 will be bring down to 100%. So we will bring down a bit. And hand key, which is very useful when you are drawing. So hand key can be accessible by two ways. One, you can click the H and keep moving. So let's say you are drawing an object, drawing some artwork. So you have drawn artworks, and now you have to draw something here, but you cannot go in this scenario. If you click H, it will stop the path from here. You have to redraw from starting from here. So in this case, what you need to do is press and hold the space key and bring down here, and let go of space key. You can continue drawing the artwork. So all these things it will be useful while you are working on a drawing. Sometimes you may be zoomed in and you may be drawing something here. Suddenly you have to move here, but you are stuck here. So you just press and hold the space key, bring it here, and continue with your artwork. So these all tools, there are so many small techniques you can use. Okay, we have three more sections here, and this is basically fill and stroke colors. So you can have stroke colors, you can give stroke colors here, and you can define the thickness uh, from the property tool here, properties tool here, or you can have stroke window selected, so you can adjust the stroke from here. Okay, so that is thing, and by clicking on this arrow you can bring back and forth these two colors to front and back. Okay, so that is one thing, and these three we already show earlier. If you don't want to apply a fill color, you just go to go to the fill, select the fill, and click on this part here. Okay, and you can have the fill back by clicking on the fill color. And one more thing most of us ignore here is this part. So normally the normal scenario when you draw, I change the color so it will be easier for to understand. So when we draw, it's always draw on top, right? So in certain cases you may need to draw sometimes behind. So for that you can click on this one and draw behind, click on draw behind part, and when you draw here it will draw behind the current selection. So if you have selected that one, then if you continue to draw it will always draw behind the selected one. So this one can be useful in certain scenarios. And the last screen, this one you can access with F, clicking the F key, or just clicking on this one you can select full screen mode, or full screen with menu, or full screen without menu, or presentation. So you can just select from here or just click on F key. So if let's say you only want to show the artwork, just click the F key twice, you will only see the artwork, but all the shortcuts are still available. So if you know the shortcut, you can still work, and you can still work on these things without even having any tools. And you can bring back the tools and the menu palettes here by pressing the F key again. Okay, so I think I have not covered the layers yet, and I have not covered the text, but our tutorial is already reached more than 1 hour. So for this part, I will stop from here and continue with the next part of for another basic tutorial for covering the text and the balance tools here, and layers and all the other basic tools which you can use. Probably we may need another couple of more tutorials to cover every basic things in Illustrator. So hopefully you guys learn something out of this tutorial, and if you guys like, please let me know if you want me to do more tutorials like this. And if it's useful, please let me know, so I will make more tutorials like this also, instead of just doing speed art videos. And I realize a lot of comments, lot of guys saying with you speed art they are not learning anything. So I already started doing UI UX tutorial, and I will also try to make more Illustrator tutorial in future. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and let's meet you guys in the next tutorial. Thank you.